Hello, welcome everybody. I am so glad that you have joined us for Into the Mythica, Wisdom and Secrets from Our Primordial Past. For the Into the Mythica conference, we are bringing together a diverse and visionary collective of speakers who will offer their expertise and guide us to open up our most ancient stories, these treasure troves, the mythologies, the cosmologies, so that we can explore, honor, reawaken, and remember who we truly are at this extremely powerful time on our beautiful sacred planet. I am Jocelyn Starfeather. I will be your host of the event, and I have created this event through my business, Sacred Planet. And I am honored to introduce to you today, Erika Maizi. Welcome, Erika. Thank you so much for being a part of this conference.
Well, thank you, Jocelyn, for having me here and for offering the space to share.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So, Erika, let me introduce you to everybody. Erika Maizi is currently living joyfully and fully alive with breast cancer. She's a soul-based coach, visionary artist, and Siberian Shamanic Practitioner who loves helping others during big changes and crises, including health crises, so that they can reconnect to themselves and be free and at peace inside, no matter the challenges on the outside. She's also the author of The Wyrding Way, The Mysterious Art of Weaving Your Own Destiny. So, Erika, your topic for today is Cancer and Awakening, Turning Demons into Diamonds. And I know you have had an extremely profound healing journey over recent years. And so I am really, looking forward to diving into this topic with you and unfolding all the knowledge, all the wisdom that you have learned from this process. So how do you turn demons into diamonds while journeying with breast cancer?
Yeah, that practically summarizes my journey that started 1 year ago. It was 2 days before Christmas in 2020. So 2020. It's come up now exactly 1 year ago. And after initial shock period where I was like frozen and didn't know what to do, and very bad memories of my mom dying from cancer. 15 years, I came back. So it took me for about 2 or 3 weeks where I was, like completely not myself. Grief and frozen and also angry. Why would I get it? Someone who is on the path for many years, eating healthily, doing all different spiritual work. So the initial period was very shocking. And then what happened, which brought me on this path of turning demons into diamonds, was a conversation with a friend who has been to Siberia with me, to the sacred mountain Beluga in 2018. After she returned from our trip, she was also diagnosed with lymph cancer, and doctors gave her only like a few months to live. And she started a Buddhist praxis, which is called Chet. And after I talked to her and she described to me how it really helped her in her miraculous healing, it's like after a few months, all disappeared. The doctors still consider her being miraculously healed.
Wow.
I thought, wow, what is this practice? I want to try this. Yeah, I immediately felt this like, yes. Yeah. And it's called Chet. And it's known here in the Western world to a Buddhist practitioner called Tsultsim Alyona. She has wrote a book which is called Feeding Your Demons. And this whole practice, it describes a 5 steps process where we really meet our demons. Instead of pushing them away, we really invite the demon. So for me, it looked like I talked to my tumor, and it represented itself like the Obscurus in the movies of Fabulous Beasts as the suppressed magical feminine powers. Yeah, and that's like where everything came up, like the the witches who have been burned, and like everything which has been considered magical and spiritual has been completely suppressed. Yeah, so that's how it reduced itself as the tumor. And then I talked to my metastasis, who introduced themselves as the giant Rus, a giant Russian, which could then, when the more I deeply communicated with this demon, then introduced himself as Peter the Great, who was the son of Katharina the Great. And some of you might have seen the great series with Helen Mirren called Catherine the Great. Then you will know it's very well demonstrated that she was not able to love her son Peter the Great. And he hated her so much that after her death, until today, in Russia, no woman is allowed to ever get into power again. So this was this masculine destructive energy, which then goes and just colonializes everything and kills everything, which is of course the former Soviet Union, where I come from. I'm originally from Kazakhstan. And so this whole destructive masculine came up to the metastasis. And to this practice church, that was very transformational, because from the very beginning, I made an important decision not to put it away or to survive or to conquer cancer or anything. I really communicated with my demons to this practice church. And so slowly, I also wrote my book about it, the even more Wyrding Way, the alchemy of turning demons into diamonds, where I really documented my conversations with my demons. And in that way, I was able to discover why it has been showing up in my life, in my body.
Wow, this is so powerful. And it's like there's so many myths woven together in what you're sharing, because there are, of course, many people, either who personally or who have seen their family members go through cancer, in one way or another. And so this is a mythology, right, of these health crises and how we move through it, and your personal journey with that. But then also this ancient lineage of wisdom that is bringing us the knowledge to face our demons and to work with this in a very different way than the mainstream medical organizations might approach it. So yes, really powerful. And I would imagine that we could use this approach for a deep fear or any profound negativity that we're carrying within, right? We could use this in so many different ways, in addition to using it for a health crisis.
Oh, absolutely. Because in the Western world, you can just change demon, which has got such negative connotation, actually to Christianity. Before that, the word actually comes from Socrates, and it's written daimon. Daimon is our higher self.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where the diamond also comes from.
Right.
Yeah. And it's the most golden, shiny inner treasure which you all carry inside. And only through the setting of the Christianization, it has turned into the demon, which until today has got very negative and dark connotations, like evil connotations.
Yeah.
But you can just translate it as the shadow parts, like everything which lies in the subconscious, just waiting for us to look at it, to communicate with it, to throw light at it and bring it into love at the end of the day. So
yes, absolutely. And as we're all learning, at this time, the shadow is not evil. The shadow is actually here to help us learn, to help us transform, to help us find our magic and our power. So it's aligned with all of that for sure.
Yeah.
So how can a health crisis help to create a spiritual awakening or guide us on our spiritual path?
Well, it's an invitation to go inside and to meet ourselves in our in the invisible realm of the subconscious. And so much lies in the subconscious. We take the metaphor of the iceberg, where it's like just like a little tip on the surface, and there's like 98% lying in this dark subconscious, which is like, it's in the dark, but if you learn to dig deep, like I was doing, like this practice of church, or I'm also Siberian Shamanic Practitioner, where I've learned many death rituals, where we really invite intentionally to go into this dark world, into the underworld, where we meet our shadow parts, our like suppressed parts. And the more we integrate those parts and bring them into the light, the more this awakening, this spiritual awakening. And for me, it really felt like an expansion of the heart. I mean, breast cancer, it's all around the heart chakra, isn't it? And it's this breakthroughs, like where another barrier, is released, and more gets integrated. And then it's like an expansion and a beautiful feeling of spaciousness and of love at the end of the day. And that is what I feel, it's an awakening of unconditional love, really.
That's so beautiful. And it is around the heart. And this is what, so many women are affected by this breast cancer. And yes, it is absolutely connected to the heart chakra, and also lung cancer, right? These organs that are just the primary functionality of that heart chakra region.
Yes.
So clearly our bodies are so wise, and they're calling out to us to reconnect with the heart in this way. Now, now, could you tell us a bit more about that? You mentioned the Siberian shamanic practices. Could you tell us how have ancient Siberian shamanic practices and Buddhist practices supported you in your healing journey?
Well, in Siberian shamanism, there are 4 main spirits. There's one for the underworld, it's called Erlik. There's the Mother Earth, who is called Umai. And then there's Ulgen, who is the deity of our dreams, of the Akashic records, of the dream world. And there is one consciousness, one creator, Tenkri, who stands for unity, consciousness. And so for me, on this journey, I primarily worked with Erlik, who rules the underworld. And so I did like a dying, like a ritual with him, and also releasing like my tumors, my metastasis, releasing in the underworld with him, with his help. And then there are 2 lakes, one lake of death and one lake of blood. One lake stands for all psychological sufferings, and the other one, lake of blood, stands for physical sufferings. And I did a ritual, for example, where I put a stone in the lake of blood. It's like it's the stone of my tumor, and a representative for that. I thrown it in there. And psychological hardships. I also had like a chain which really holds me back, holds me like in a prison. I put it also there in the lake. And through shamanic journeying, we go into this underworld, and then we return back into to Mother Nature, which is Umai. She stands for all renewal, nourishment, regeneration. And so I worked very intimately with these 2 deities through shamanic journeying. Another very important death ritual is where we are dismembered by animals, by wild animals, and then we get buried underneath, and then the same animals come and put us together. So this is a very profound death ritual as well, death and rebirth ritual, to just name a few.
Yeah, very powerful. That the dismemberment, I've done a bit of work with dismemberment journeys, and I know those are extremely powerful. So, so I'm curious too, are you integrating modern medical technology with your healing process? Are you fully, working with this in an ancient knowledge, in a shamanic kind of way? Share with us how your full process has been, and also how are you doing now, a year after your original diagnosis?
Well, for me, at the beginning, it was a very important decision I had to make. So I went completely inside of me, because it was clear that it's my own unique journey. My soul wants to make exactly this experience. So instead of like putting it away or getting into the victim mode, I started to ask, why am I experiencing this? And for me, on my unique path, was important to fully accept the traditional medicine, whilst doing my own self-healing practices, shamanic Buddhist practices, the visionary arts, which I'm doing, have also been very important on my healing path. And in that way, I was also able to fully embrace the school medicine. And after talking to my soul, and for example, to my deceased mother, she was not able to accept the school medicine. She was completely, in resistance to it. And she told me from the other side that for me, it's very important, my healing journey, to integrate that. And then I made a very important decision to accept each chemotherapy. And I had like 16 chemotherapies. That's the maximum amount of chemotherapies. And I've seen it each time like a shamanic initiation, but I go deeper and I descend deeper. I descend deeper and become nothing. It's like this metaphor, really become nobody, to finally get to this hole of the needle, on the other side. And that's how I approached it. And I was able to embrace it in a good way. Like I hardly had no side effects. And I had 2 operations afterwards. And each time prepare myself in my own way, like through the shamanic practices and through the arts, through the writing, and to communicate into my own soul. For me, it's like holding my own unique destiny thread, because I'm the creatrix of it and I'm leading it. Even if it meant for me to become nobody, to actually fit through the hole of the needle, I still was holding it. I always felt like I'm consciously walking this path of an initiation, of death and rebirth. And that way I was able to embrace the school medicine and my alternative own practices, healing modalities. But it's again, it's this integrative approach. And I feel it's very important also the way how we deal, for example, at the like with COVID, there is so much polarization going on. And it's like really like good versus evil, whilst I think the truth is in between, and it all starts with our own unique truth first. And then we can also approach anything on the outside, even the biggest challenges or other people who are of different opinion. We can approach it with love instead of like against it. So,
Right. Instead of fighting or needing to be aggressive or needing to be the victim, all of these different ways that we kind of we tend to take on sometimes. But really what you're speaking about, and tell me if I'm understanding this correctly, is this like deep clarity within, and the courage is there and the confidence is there, but like it's all centered around this clarity of knowing what is my truth. And then as life situations come up, we know how we're meant to move forward. And I'm sure that includes a deep connection with your intuition and your own inner knowing about these decisions.
Yes, it all starts first of all going inside and connect what I call with my own soul, unique destiny thread. And then I communicate it in different ways as well. And then I see wonders and helpers everywhere. Like the nurses, the doctors were like so fantastic. Like that was like this everyday magic and every day. Yeah. And what I might have been afraid about earlier, like, oh my God, they tried to kill me or something. Yeah. It was not like that, because then also on the outside, I've seen so many wonders. Like, yeah, it was magical, really.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And this also brings up the idea of what we consider miracles from our human perspective is really just the way nature works. It's the way the universe works, right? That these beautiful synchronicities or miraculous healings, as we consider them, this is actually the way things are really set up to operate. And when we can remember that, right? Like lose the amnesia that we have, remember our deep power and our connection to all that is, and bring that into the process, then we reconnect back up with that miraculous way of the universe. So yeah, that's really beautiful. Now you have a book, and then you're working on a new book, and you use this term wyrding. So could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, wyrding actually means weaving in Norse language, and it all started in 2017. Actually, I did a crowdfunding campaign to reconnect with my ancestral roots in Siberia, Kazakhstan, Mongolia. And whilst I was traveling, I was planting my tree seeds, and like according to a Celtic tree horoscope, I'm a rowan tree. So I was traveling with the Trans-Siberian Railway and planting round tree seeds on powerful places, and also researching embroidery along those different countries. And I wrote my book, The Wyrding Way, about it, because when I started to connect more deeply in the physical realm by actually really embroidering, like that's why I'm wearing, this is my very traditional sacred destiny towel, rushnik, with my original symbols, connecting beautiful. Me like a tree to all different free worlds, like the underworld, middle world, and the upper world. So it's the most sacred like piece which I've woven myself.
Yeah.
And through actually embroidering, it reconnected me to my different roots, and went always deeper and deeper. That I started to communicate like the three Norns in Norse mythology who sit by the world tree Yggdrasil. They have woven like the whole universe through the threads of the past, present, and future. And the wyrd has a very potent meaning in Norse mythology. So it's the fate, the flexible fate, which we all can co-creatively weave. The wyrd is also the well where they sit, the three Norns, and they take the water every day, and the water, the world tree. They're also said to have carved the runes. That's why I love working with the runes as well. So for me, those three giantesses were like an opener to to such different realities. And they are the weavers. They co-creatively weave the web of wyrd. There's actually also a rune which looks like a net. It's called the web of wyrd. And I had a major awakening moment, like whilst working with the runes, writing the book, that this symbol of the rune of web of wyrd, it contains all lines which constitute all different runes. And that's like, that's how we like are woven in this tapestry. Yeah. And I just had this aha moment. And that's how it came to this title of the Wyrding Way. Mm-hmm. It's the weaving way, the co-creative weaving way.
Yeah, I love how you said the flexible, tell me if I'm saying this right, the flexible fate that we are all weaving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's also another one that's like Orlog. The Orlog, you can see like Dharma and Karma. Like Orlog is more like a fixed, long-term, like there's like fate more. Yeah. There's a great book by the mythologist Michael Mead, Fate and Destiny. I found it also very inspirational whilst writing my book. So the karma or the fate is more like this long-term karma, which is not very easy to change. Yeah. Whilst the dharma or the wyrd, we are always co-creators. If we are very consciously leading our unique life thread, then we are always co-creators of it. And it's always flexible, it's constantly changing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing this glimpse into the Norse.
Oh, you're muted, Jocelyn.
Oh, can you not hear me? Okay, I am unmuted now. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, thank you for sharing this glimpse into Norse mythology and the runes as well. Really, really powerful. Is there anything else you want to share from the Norse mythology before we move on to another question here? I feel like maybe there's something else important for our listeners that you might have in mind.
Well, for me, what I also write about in my book is like this weird space where we all originate from. This is the dark matter, where like 99% of our universe is made up of. Like now the astrology, they speak about the quantum field, the dark matter, so much like goes into this research. And this is in Norse mythology. This is this weird space, this unknown space. The weird also comes from this old English word, like so written differently, like W-E-I-R-D. It's also, oh, that's weird. It's like, oh, that's unknown. You don't understand it. It's strange, yeah. Right. And that's where it comes from. It comes from this unknown, but also very creative, nourishing, dark matter. Speaking about the into the mythical, it's like, for me, it's like into the weird.
Yeah.
It has also got another name in Norse mythology, like also known as Gnandagap, the yawning chasm of nothingness, yeah, which is forever expanding and birthing galaxies, birthing all the time. And this space, that's where everything originates from. It's like you can also see it as the womb of the Great Mother. Right. Where we also come from the dark, isn't it? We get born from the weird space, and the whole universe and all galaxies get born from the weird, from the mythical weird space.
So we should embrace our weirdness.
Absolutely, yes.
It's what we come from. Yes. The unfathomable, the unexplainable.
Yes.
Really powerful.
Yeah.
So how can we, for everyone listening here, then how can we weave ancient myths and healing modalities into this new world, new earth that we know we're co-creating, that we know is emerging right now? How can we weave all this together?
Well, I like to share like what brought me this reconnection. It all started with my weaving, but it could be anything to we all have got a different soul expression. So I would like to invite everyone to listen inside. How does our soul wants to be expressed? So it's like a journey going inside first and start to communicate. And I find it so helpful to do also practices, pick up something which connects us to our ancient lineage. Yeah, for me it was embroidery. It was very transformational, but it could be anything. Another thing which was very transformational for me, for example, is to discover my soul song through singing the runes, which is called Galder Norse.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, I was never a singer at all. But when I started to singing the runes of my soul rune, for example, I started listening to my womb. It comes from my womb.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I got to know my soul song, which is like, it's so transformational when we start really listening to our soul, yeah, or to how the soul wants to be expressed, like I like painting or doing magical dolls, which I also learned in Siberia. Yeah, or embroidery, something which makes us remember where we come from and taken literally into our own hands, or finding an expression for something which, speaking about the mythical, the unseen worlds, it's difficult to put words into it. Yeah, it needs an expression.
Yeah, I love that. Really allowing, I mean, it's a form of embodiment, right? Like creating through our hands or through our voice. You know, these are all different forms of embodiment, and how we can connect with these other dimensions, other realms, other ways of knowing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, very.
And this is really activation of our own self-healing powers. This is where we become conscious co-creators of our wyrd. That's the Wyrding Way, where we're really consciously weaving instead of like thinking, oh, yeah, what is this? I'm the victim. I don't know what to do.
Right.
In that way, we, in each moment, we are in the flow. Yeah, what we came here for with our soul, conscious co-creators. And it's a very fulfilling life. In that way, even very harsh challenges, like, for example, a health crisis, like with me, even that can be fun and enjoyable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so powerful. It's quite a paradigm shift, you know, for all of us, and with this modern westernized society and the way we've been kind of trained to react to things or give up our power in so many different ways. So it's really powerful how you're modeling this and living this in a very real way, and sharing that. So thank you for the way you're bringing this wisdom forward and modeling it yourself, and letting yourself be the expression of that, you know, for others to see and really understand.
Well, thank you for that I'm allowed to share that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it. Yes. Is there any last thing you would like to say to those listening, anybody who might be going through a health crisis themselves? One other word of wisdom that you might want to share?
Yeah, like just really see it as an invitation to go inside, like get away from everything from the outside, and give yourself the space to go really inside as long as you need. And like really nourish yourself, get to know your soul, start to listen very deeply, to invite those different helpers from other realms. Like, for example, for me, it was also the medicine totem, the white deer, and the raven, start to call in on other helpers, from other realms, and really start listening inside and seeing with new eyes, and really explore the mythica. And don't be afraid to dive into this dark, because also those demons, the shadow parts, can turn into our biggest helpers. And like the diamond, it's in the deepest ground. It's like, no wonder it's like the hardest stone in the world to uncover from the deep earth. And it's very similar with us. The more courageous we are to dive deep into the deep earth, into the underworld, to meet our shadow parts, the more we come up to the surface with our inner treasures. So see it as an opportunity for this inner alchemy journey.
Yes. Now, I know, Erika, you're offering a wonderful free gift to everybody listening. That is an excerpt from your new book, The Even More Wyrding Way. So could you share a little bit about that book and the excerpt that people will receive?
Yeah, I would love to. As I mentioned, it was also very helpful for me to write. It's like a diary, to really documenting my processes. Like, for example, your course, Alchemy of the Soul, was also very helpful. Like, for example, the underworld journey of Inanna. I mean, that was so helpful on my journey as well. And so I was documenting whatever helped me on my healing path. And I call it the alchemy of turning demons into diamonds, because it's art and alchemy, this combination, which was so helpful for me as well, together with the shamanic and Buddhist practices. And I'm hoping to birth it on my birthday, on the 4th of the 4th. Like my last book, I also birthed it on the magical day of the 4th of the 4th in 2020. And I hope that until then I will publish it. But for now, as a free gift, I like to offer an excerpt, like the beginning of the book, how it all started and how I got to know this practice of chat, which has been very transformational to me.
Oh, yes, wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing this gift with us. And everybody here who's listening, just scroll down a little bit below this video and you will see the link to click on to go and claim that free gift from Erika. And definitely go ahead and claim it now. It sounds really powerful, how she got started on this journey. So thank you, Erika, for sharing that with us and putting it in writing, and good luck and blessings for your book that you are writing. And it's April 4th is your birthday?
Yes. Speaking about the magic of numbers as well.
Yes, absolutely. Next one will be 4/4/22 or 2022. So that's a lot of magic.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Can't be enough magic in the world, right?
Yes. Yes, more and more magic is breaking through at this time for sure. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. I know it will be really inspiring for so many people listening. And again, just blessings to you for your continued healing, for your writing, your art, and all that you are creating.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn. And thank you everyone who was listening. In Russian, it's благодарю. Many, many blessings.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah, thank you everyone for attending. I hope you have enjoyed and received so much from this interview. And I'll see you again soon on the next interview. Much love, everybody. Mwah, and many blessings.
Bye. Many blessings.